DNVR Buffs Prime Time, presented by Illegal Pete's, coming to you from the DNVR bar here on the corner of Colfax and York in downtown Denver, Colorado. And we have a very, very special episode today. We're throwing it back to the first ever podcast in the history of BSN then and now DNVR. It was once known as the BSN Buffs Podcast with RK and BBads. I got my guy, Bryce Badwin, on the show. What is up, dude?
Thank you, dog. Happy to be here. We've you guys have made some strides since we were recording off of a fan with your iPhone.
Yeah, so when we started this pod, let me actually take it back a little further. Bryce and I, of course, went to Colorado together. We actually went to high school together and essentially became best friends off of the fact that we both loved the Buffs.
Yeah, our psychoticness for the Buffs really brought us together, I would say.
So then we go into college. We're both in the journalism program. And I had gone to the head of Radio 1190, which was a student radio station, and essentially pitched him on a show. I was like, I want to do a sports show. Me and my buddy Bryce will host it. Like, it's, you know, we really want to talk sports. And funny thing is, he originally said, like, okay, like, send me a demo episode. So you and I sat in my apartment and recorded an episode of what we called RK and BBads, and it had to have been terrible.
I mean, at the time, we thought it was fire.
We did.
But I'm sure if we were to listen to it
I
back,
edited up like an intro that I thought was sick, and like
I think it was Kanye West, actually.
Yep. So we submitted it to him, and essentially he said, I don't think anyone wants to listen to a sports show, in his way of like just shutting us down. So I was like, all right, bet. So from then on out, I was like, we gotta start a podcast. Like, let's start a podcast. And then Brandon came to me, talked to me about starting BSN, and really shortly after we got rolling, I was like, I want to do a podcast with Bryce talking Buffs. And I think we were honestly like, so Adam was doing his show, Buff Stampede Radio, and I think that was it in the Buffs podcast sphere.
In podcasts, I'd say so, probably.
So we were the second ever option for Buffs fans at the time, and it honestly got like an awesome response.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the beginning of the seed that has obviously grown in terms of growing community via podcast. Like, it was one of my first realizations that, when you actually talk and people hear your voice, they connect with you in a different way.
Yeah, even for me, I think like it was just coming on and just, I mean, we were just talking about the Buffs, how we always talk about it with each other. And like, we should just get some mics and just do this. And people liked it. And we had themed segments depending on who we were playing that week. If we were playing Wazoo, we had a Cougar segment, if I remember correctly. Cougar draft. So, we were ahead of our time, I guess.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
We did thank you. We did some like best names.
Yep, name drafts.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember some other stuff. We always like tried to put a lot of work in because we were only doing it once a week.
Yep.
And I remember staying up until like 3 a.m. trying to edit it together and like make every like sound, make the sound a little bit better, because we literally were sitting in two chairs like this, much shittier chairs. We took an ottoman, put a fan on top of the ottoman, and then took my phone and sat it, and we'd be sitting right here, like both leaning in, trying to talk into the phone. And so, it's cool to see some of the people who have reached out today.
Yeah, definitely.
Saying like, oh my God, this is such a great throwback. And so when I had to fill the show, I'm like, let's bring it back. And we haven't done this once.
No, we haven't.
Since the last episode we did.
No, we haven't. It's been, what is that? I mean, 7 years now, 6 years.
Yep.
And I do want to give a shout out to Jake. He's done a great job. Everyone who's been on this show before have, carried the torch from what we started, and, been great for Buffs Nation, which is all we need, is a good outlet for fans and for people to talk about the Buffs, and still going.
And I always give RK and BBads a little bit of credit for, and I'm saying that as the show, not talking about myself in third person, a little bit of credit for like the whole company leaning into podcasts, and so we kind of blazed the trail there.
Yeah, it caught on, man, and it was for the Buffs. So I'm glad that the show's thriving, and with Coach Prime, baby, it's only going to go up.
Yeah, we coming. So that is the biggest thing I want to talk to you about. Is obviously we've talked a lot about this, but I remember we were creating a video that I actually don't ever think saw the light of day at the first game of last season, and I was kind of talking to you about like, why are
At
you
the
still
tailgate,
coming?
yeah.
Like, why? And I know the answer, but I wanted to put it
Yeah.
on camera. Of why are you still coming here? You said something along the lines of like, one day it's going to turn.
Yep. One day it was gonna turn, and also as you and I talk every single week before games and everything, during this down period, Mondays you're like, oh, it's gonna be a rough week.
Yes.
And then the days roll on, and I know I'm sure you've talked about this on other pods. And then once I'm in, Wolf Law, and I'm 30 minutes out from game time, I'm like, we're gonna win this shit.
Buffs money line.
We're bang
2
every
units.
single time. Yeah, every time. So for me, I mean, the Buffs, just as a kid, like you growing up in Boulder, we were kids at a really good time to get us attracted to the program. There's some really badass players that, as a 9-year-old, you're just super into. And then you're just kind of chasing that feeling, and you're just kind of, what the place can be, and you have that nostalgic feeling. And luckily, we've been searching for it. We had, some peaks that kind of tickled us, teased us a little bit, I'd say. But I mean, man, after these last couple months, I've been pinching myself every day with Coach Prime, and it's honestly a dream. It's crazy.
It really is. And I love that you said chasing it. Like, that's how I feel. I've been thinking about the spring game a lot, and the fact there's going to be 45,000 people in Folsom.
Unbelievable.
Like, going crazy when Ralphie runs out, and I'm just like, wow, this is like a rare, like, I feel like I'm cheating the system. Like, I'm getting a little hit of what I need in April, which is something that never happens.
I mean, I remember going to spring games with you, even like when Dan Hawkins was here, and there was like, I don't know, 6,000 people, and we're like, damn, it's lit in here. Like,
yeah,
we were fired up. Like, there was a lot of buzz around there, and a sold out Folsom for a practice essentially is insane.
And I've been talking about the recent ones, telling people, like, the best I can describe it as like a picnic at the park. Like, people are like in there with their kids, like rolling out like a blanket over the seats.
Yeah, it's like a library lately, probably. But
so, what was your reaction just when like the news became official? Coach Prime is coming to Colorado.
Floored, honestly. I remember just staring at my phone and just constantly just seeing Coach Prime in Buffs colors, all the Photoshops coming out and everything, and just like when you saw, you always knew just based off of social media and his clout and everything like that the weight that he has and the power that he has and just his persona. And so when it first happened, and seeing all the big time names across the college football landscape, different, the ESPN, everyone, just we're at the forefront, and you're just like, buckle the fuck up because we are moving. And this train is 100 miles an hour right now. And when we get that dub against TCU in September, this thing's going Elon Musk Hyperloop, and it's not going to be stopped.
Just off.
It's going to be going.
Are you going?
I'm going.
All right.
You're
Hell
going.
Yeah. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're, I mean, I'll just say this. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I hope it does. The plan is for us to put together like a whole package.
Love it.
Of like
the
events.
DNVR package.
You can come with us. You can stay at our hotel, like that whole thing. So
I love that.
There you go. People are always asking, like, what are your plans for the season? What are your plans? There's a little background. I can't confirm it yet, but since I'm just talking with my boy here, I'll let you guys know that that's in the plans.
Yeah, and I think back to what you're saying for my reaction, I think I was telling you this before the show. It's like funny, like these last couple of years as Buffs fans, I think, we've just kind of had like a little party, like a little dorm party. Super fun. You love your friends. I know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
I know, Allie's going to be there. Always a great time. Never a bummer. But now we're like, we had those peaks and valleys. We had some house parties, like some people started coming that we didn't know. And then we were getting fired up. And now we're on a full-blown block party where it's just an absolute banger. There's a lot of people we don't know at the party, but we love that they're there, and we're ready for you to be a Buff and a fan, and saddle up, baby, because we're glad that you're on the train.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked me this, and I'll see what you think about it, but I think I know the answer. That block party feel, there's a lot of people you don't recognize around, and so a lot of people who aren't Buffs fans are like, oh, are you annoyed at all that like all these people have just jumped on the bandwagon?
I mean, no, man. I mean, as long as no, because I want, like, we're the number 2 rated sold team on Fanatics right now.
Yep.
Like, walking around, as always, great place, the airport, to wear your Buffs gear. Like, you get way more shout outs before. Yeah, maybe they were a little niche before and could have meant a little bit more, but now there's like some purpose behind that and belief behind that, and just random people that are on your, like, we're the bandwagon team.
Yeah.
It's never been like that.
And couldn't possibly embrace it more.
Yeah.
Like,
because we've been through the shit. We've been through the gutter. And I think that, for other fans that haven't, it's like, well, that's the whole point of being, the bandwagon team. Like, they're just random people that are just Georgia fans now because they have nice lids or something.
Yep.
It's like, now where everyone's get to see our lids and Coach Prime and Folsom, and it's going to be the same vibe.
Yeah, like I've had conversations with people who like moved to Denver a couple years ago and were like, oh, like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going to the Buffs game this weekend. They're like, what's that? That's not happening anymore.
No, it's the premier event.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be people legitimately trying to get tickets to the Buffs game as like almost like a symbol of their social status.
It's honestly like, because we're going to be good, though. It's like, the Rockies are just like a social thing.
Yep.
Like, the Buffs games are going to just be like, if you're not up in Boulder, like, on Saturday, like, there's nothing that's
People
up
are
to
going to
that.
be, like, going to the Buffs game, like, trying to, like, get a fit off and, like, post an Instagram that they're there because it's like a flex
tagging
that you're
Folsom
at the
Field.
game.
Yes, legitimately. Not just people from Colorado either, people from around the country.
Yep. You know what's funny is I am more welcoming, and I'm welcoming to everyone, but I'm more welcoming to new fans than I am to people who left
And
in the last
back.
couple of years and now I'm back. Like, I'm in
Because
on
they're
everyone.
haters.
Come on in. Come
Yeah.
on in. Like, come back. But just know that I'm judging
bookmarked
you
this.
just a little bit.
I bookmarked this.
Yes, exactly. I'm judging you just a little bit that you gave up. And I can't blame you, but I at least have to be able to have like a little flex, which is like
100%.
never considered giving up one little bit.
I mean, we both have screws loose because we were going to the game, every single game, no matter what. We were staying till the end, no matter what. And so, like, I can't put that on everybody. You can't. That's not for everybody. But you're right. You got to let them know and be like, hey, man, I had a free ticket for you that one time, and you said no.
Yep.
So I remember that, but come on back.
Yep. Come on back. Come on
But
back.
there's going to be no free tickets now. No more extras.
Dude, I'm not even ready for that. Like,
Well, because we always had free tickets, like,
Yeah.
always anytime, like, RK will have one.
yep. I'll like
Bads will
tell
have
people in the
one. Oh,
office
he'll
here
have
on
one.
Friday,
Yeah,
like,
like, yeah.
if you want to come to the Buffs game, there's, my
I
friend's
don't
got a
know,
bunch of
like, it's pretty nice. Like, now Buffs football is, like, more premier than hiking in Boulder, and that is saying something.
And I legitimately think going to be the hardest ticket to get of any sport in town.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be awesome. All right, let's transition a little bit into today. I was up in Boulder today, working, not twerking. Had to fill in for my boy Jake as they had some media availability. And there were some interesting tidbits that came out of there. Where I want to start, though, is they have clearly cranked it up. I think that there was like this fun, spring ball's back. Like, the boys are in town. Like, let's get to practice. I'm so excited football's back from the whole program.
Yeah.
And then I think the coaches didn't necessarily like what they saw.
Nip that in the bud.
And they just, I think, it was like this nice back to be football, great to be back on the field feeling for the first couple of days of practice. And obviously they were hard on them. But I think the coaches got together after that first stretch of spring ball and said, we have a long way to go. There is no time for
Bullshit.
fun anymore. No time for bullshit anymore. And I have sensed since yesterday when you saw Coach Prime just running those guys, until they're on their backs. And then today, the tone we got from Coach Tim Brewster was very much a tone of urgency, not of, like, we got time, the guys are working, we'll get there. It was like, no, the time is now, and I don't have any more time for anyone's BS. And the craziest part is he calls out Zico Traore right in front of his face.
Right before he's about to get on the podium.
And I almost felt bad for Zico. It's kind of my fault, but I didn't know he was standing right behind us.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said, hey, Coach, what kind of player do you have in Zico? And he, like, locked eyes with him and was just like, Zico needs to give full effort on every single play, on every single rep. And he knows what I'm saying, and he hears me loud and clear, and he's right back there. And I was like, oh, man, I just, like, hung him out to dry, even though that's obviously what it was, not what I was trying to do. But that wasn't, like, fun Tim Brewster, like, oh, we love the Buffs are coming, blah, blah. It was like, no, it's time to go to work.
It's the Tim Brewster that in that one video where everyone got kind of soft, where he was yelling at everyone and everything.
Yeah.
Like, but you need that.
Yes.
Like, you need that. And I think that, him going up there today and kind of calling him out, that's a good thing. That's good. He came up on his press conference too, and he said he wants a single digit, and that's a big deal, and he's going to have to work for it. So I think it's just, it's part of the program, and I don't know that there was that kind of, I don't want to say military type of, voice maybe in past coaching staffs, but now they have that, and his resume doesn't lie. I mean, the guy is coached at the biggest programs. He's coached some of the best tight ends that are in the league now too. So I think when you have that type of resume, you're just you got to pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And DCB saying, I got Zico in trouble. I was trying to tee up Coach Brew to talk about how great Zico is. I thought he was going to talk about how athletic he is and what a great pass catcher he is and all the abilities he has. But clearly probably didn't have his best practice, I'm guessing. And
everyone has their off days.
Yep, exactly. So I'm excited.
He's probably thinking about Crystal Palace, bro. It's tough scenes. Actually, they got a big win the other day, but
yeah, you and I
had to get my soccer bid in here.
Bryce, an Arsenal supporter, me, Leeds. You guys got gifted the other day, even though you probably would have won either way.
Gifted.
But Leeds gets the dub today. We go from 18th to 13th, and I guarantee you no one in this comment section cares about that.
Yep.
It's interesting, and I feel like this is like on a dial, and they're just going to keep cranking it higher and higher and higher. And I think the players are honestly up to the task. When we talked to Zico, he just kind of laughed it off, and he was just like, "Hey, look, he's coached Kyle Pitts, he's coached Antonio Gates. Like, you just listen when he talks." And I think there's a real like effect going on inside the team of listening to the coaches. Like they have an all-star coaching staff, and I just think that there's probably been some times over the last couple of years where the players are rolling their eyes at the coaches. Yeah, because the coaches weren't all that great. Yeah, you can't do that here.
Yeah, and I think you had asked, maybe it was one of the kickers, but I think it was Feely, and he was talking about ASU, the difference in how it was kind of disappointment for him there. ASU. But and I think it kind of everyone just keeps going back to the staff, and they're like, why? And when it's like, why'd you come here? And it's like, I mean, look at the coaches, look at the staff. Like, come on, like that is the reason they're here. And I think the kids are listening. It's not just like the kids that stayed want to be here and be put through that gauntlet, and the kids that are coming know that gauntlet or want to play for these coaches. And I had to throw it back to you in terms of that position, tight end position. How many tight ends do you think you can name that we thought were going to be, that next Quinn Sipniewski, Joel Klopfenstein, Daniel Graham type of guy? Because I don't think they're, and no disrespect to Brady, because Brady was great. But
I had
high
hopes for Brady.
But
you knew he wasn't physically at that level.
So I just want to see how many tight ends you can name that we thought were going to be. We're like, oh, finally, this is going to be the one, man. This
Vincent Hobbs?
Vincent Hobbs is a good one.
That is the one that stands out to me more than any other one.
He had a big fumble against someone one game.
He did. He actually made it. No, it was later in the season. I want to say it wasn't Washington State. It was in Boulder. It was late in the season. Embry's last season.
Yep.
And he caught it and turned upfield, made a great play, and then he got it punched out from behind.
Vincent Hobbs, Devon Thornton had some potential.
We were hype on Devon Thornton.
We were very hype on Devon, local guy.
Yep, and he was a beast on the basketball court. Man. I'm trying to remember. Can you think of more?
It always goes back to those two. I mean, Brady, there was... Is
there anyone in the McIntyre era that really stood out?
Who did Coach Mack have in tight end room? I guess Nick Casa was kind of decent for us.
Nick Casa had a season there.
Yeah, he did. He caught some balls for us.
He has a funny story where he got signed by the Broncos as a free agent while he was at the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. The Broncos got an injury to a tight end, like Owen Daniels or someone.
Oh,
he was in the stands drinking, having a blast. And he got a text from his agent being like, yo, the Broncos want you to come in for a workout tomorrow. He gets signed. Literally the only time he's on the Broncos is for the Super Bowl, where he's just on the practice squad. Yeah. They win the Super Bowl, he gets a ring.
Man, right place, right time, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry for the tangent. I'm sure a lot of people on here might not even know those tight ends, but for the newbies. But the long story is we've been searching for a tight end for a while because it used to be a staple. Yep. And I like who we got now.
Yeah, I think honestly he's going to be a big difference maker. Coach Brew talked about how he doesn't do.
Sean Irwin, good call. I remember Sean. Good call. The Irwin brothers.
He's a good blocker. Coach Brew talked about how he doesn't do pass catching tight ends, essentially is what he was saying. He's like, I need 3 down tight ends. And that's why I think he's pushing Zico so hard, because when Zico stood up there, like obviously he's physically gifted and he's big, but he's not huge.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a challenge for him to be the type of blocker that they need. And he mentioned running power, and like that's something that I think, like this coaching staff will do, like tackle tight end counters where you get just 2 guys ripping off the edge, but you're going to need to be big and strong to, get out on that and block those guys on the edge. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for him. I think at Arkansas State, he was probably asked to do that a little bit, but they were also just like, wow, we have this like
get the ball
athlete
in his hands.
who's way better than what we should probably have, and they're getting him the rock. So it's going to be an interesting kind of trip there. And I think we probably shouldn't sleep on Eli Yelverton, who played with Shador in high school.
That's true, yeah.
And Coach Prime said on one of the well-off videos, like, we drew up the first play of the game for him every single game. So clearly there was like a connection there, and they loved him.
Yeah, the depth of the position has always been not there. So more guys, the better. Honestly, the middle of the field has always been a struggle for us. So let's get those tight ends in there, baby. Let's go. Someone
in the comments said, RK has a cozy coat on, and the other dude has his sleeves rolled up. Is it cold in there or not? Honestly, it's just like the jacket is part of the fit is for me. That was why
I took my jacket off. It is cold here right now. It is snowing, so.
It's kind of bullshit, honestly, but I have a tea time on Saturday if that shows you how fast the weather turns around here. All right, a couple more. So we talked to those 2. Then we talked to Jace Feely, and I just want to bring him up for a couple reasons. One, really confident.
And a big dude.
Yeah, he used to play. He played linebacker in high school. But wow, his confidence was kind of off the charts. Like in my mind, I had kind of thought about this competition as like it's Mata's to lose, and I don't think Jace Feely feels about it that way at all. I think he thinks it's his to lose. He essentially said like, I'm extremely confident in my abilities. I can hit from 65.
Yeah, I heard that part. And damn,
I know. And he was like, I felt like he was talking like I'm going to be the starter, which we love competition at all levels, but the most interesting part was he took some jabs at that ASU staff.
He was pretty much saying they're incompetent.
Yes. He said ASU was a little rough. I came here because I was looking for some more professionalism.
Yeah. Pretty much like it was a clown show over there.
Bro, that's like, I've heard a lot of things like, I felt like I wasn't in, or there was politics with the coaching staff. We're talking about like, Herm Edwards coaching
like
staff.
Unorganized, like not having a program like under control here.
Unprofessional.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. And I loved it. And he went back to the well on it
a couple times. Yeah, he like wanted to talk about it.
Yep. And how about this? He had heart surgery 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's out there hitting from 65 today.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, I can't imagine having heart surgery and honestly even being cleared to go do that. So, but amazing story there. And honestly, he still wanted to just keep talking about ASU after it. Heart's doing fine. He was getting the blood pumping.
Yeah, he was. Apparently, we were told that no kickers missed in practice today. They were all perfect in practice.
And honestly, I think throwing it to the other kicker, Alejandro, I mean, he seemed confident too. I mean, he said he could hit from 55 as well, but they asked him, I think, about like, the stuff they always ask when they come to Colorado, like, is it easier to, kick it, altitude and all that stuff? He's like, yeah, definitely. He goes, it just gives me more distance and more height, and I'm already accurate. So, so like he just kind of put that in there and is just super confident. So, we know the kickers, they're kickers. We're going to need them when we need them. So, it's good to have a confident bunch there.
It's clear Jace has a bigger leg, too, just based off of their own assessments.
Yeah, stature, I would say.
Yeah, I wonder if there's just a situation where Mata from 50 in, Feely from 50 out.
Yeah, or I mean, I'd say maybe even Jace on kickoffs, too.
Yep.
Put him out the back of the end zone. If it doesn't, the guy used to play linebacker in high school, so he could lay the wood maybe if he needed to.
Yes. With all love to Mata, he is tiny.
Yeah,
you'd look big
tiny.
Next to him.
And that's saying something, folks. 5'8", 150, sopping wet.
But Coach Prime trusts him, and I respected what he asked, how he answered my question, which was, do you feel like you have an advantage because you've already earned Coach Prime's trust in games? And he essentially said, like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think Coach Prime thinks of it that way, and he's probably right. I was just curious what his thought was. Probably clean slate. Everyone has a chance.
It's a testament to Coach Prime, too, for, because it is, especially for a position like kicker where you know what you're going to get with Mata for him. And, all the Netflix videos of him and Mata, they obviously had a good relationship and stuff, too. So for him to just cold cut, be like, no, it doesn't matter. I got to earn it every day. That's a good sign too. And just a testament to the daily messaging that Coach Prime gives to the team.
Yep. All right. Before we move on, got to give a shout out to our friends over at Roman. Got to get your sexual health right. And that's why we have our friends over at Roman. They have the Roman swipes that can help you last 4 times as long. They can do consultations to see how your testosterone levels are doing and help you take care of them if they're low. Anything that you need to get your game right in the bedroom, you got to hit up our friends over at Roman. Go to ro.co/DNVR to get with our friends over at Roman. Hey, there's no shame. But just like the football team, you're either working on getting better or you're getting worse.
Nothing stays the same, my friend.
Nothing stays the same. So if you're trying to work on getting better in the bedroom, hit up our friends over at Roman. That's ro.co/DNVR to get your game right with Roman. And also a shout out to Breckenridge Brewery. Breckenridge Brewery. What's your favorite Breck brew?
Juice drop.
Ooh, I think that's a first on this show. Now, I do love a juice drop, but everyone that we've had on goes with the light stuff.
Interesting.
I always say if I'm going to drink one, I want to drink 4. 4 juice drops is probably a little much.
Be feeling good though after.
You will be feeling great. I have been. So the original, what was known as the RK special, was half Hop Peak IPA, half Strawberry Sky.
Strawberry Sky, yep.
We stopped carrying the Hop Peak, so I've been testing it out with the juice drop. I think it's actually better. RK Special 2.0, juice drop, and Strawberry Sky.
With the Strawberry Sky.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have to try that after this.
Hell yeah, it slaps. So check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. I've really been trying to remind everyone, because all of you guys, whether you're in Dallas or Mississippi or you're with us here in Colorado, you can find Breck Brew near you. Go to breckbrew.com/beer locator. Type in your area code, how far you're willing to drive for some Breck Brews, and they'll tell you where the nearest ones are to you. You can even sort it by whether you want to find the juice drop or whether you want to find the Strawberry Sky or the Good Company hard seltzer. So hit up our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. Find the nearest ones to you. All right. One thing that I loved about the shows that we used to do back in the day is we put a lot of thought into segments and, doing something fun, doing something funny, going off the cuff a little bit.
Yep.
And now everyone does that, but I felt like back then we might have been a little bit of pioneers of these types of things. We used to love to do a draft.
Yep.
You and I talk about uniforms a lot.
Yep.
So
used to be my job.
That's actually, let's talk about that before we get into this, because we are going to draft our favorite uniforms. I know we've done a uniform segment like this, but it was just too perfect with having Bryce here, who used to work in equipment, to do a uniform draft and see who the fans think drafts the best team of uniforms. So first, tell your story of working in equipment.
Yeah, worked equipment. Let's see what years those were. I don't think of it actual years. I think of it of coaching staffs, because went through a couple coaching staffs, but with Coach John Embo and with Coach Mack, worked in the secondary. And yeah, grinded in the equipment room that is now way doper than what it was when I was there.
Oh, so the whole biggest equipment room in college football thing didn't exist.
Did not exist. No, we were still, the Champion Center didn't exist.
Yeah.
So we were just still in the Dow Ward. Big shout out to, the Tyler Baltiarises of the world. JT Galloway, all those guys who I don't think are at the program anymore. But yeah, we grinded, and we didn't watch a lot of winning football, but we got our boys looking nice and crispy. I think we wore black helmets, white for the first time while I was there against Utah.
At Utah. Remember that was the picture of you, me, and Dara on the sidelines.
I think we had a good onside kick recovery that game.
Hey,
out of half. Don't think we won, but we did look fly. It was an interesting combo. I don't think the school had ever worn it. And that was kind of our idea. So yeah, love uniforms, love the swag, love the lids. And I know with Coach Prime, we're going to be getting a lot of dope stuff coming through. And definitely might be testing, I'd say, maybe the older fans,
yes,
wherewithal, because there's going to be a lot of chrome, I think. We're going to have chrome gold. We're going to have chrome silver, I bet. No inside info there, but if I'm a betting man, which I am, I'm pretty confident we're going to get those.
Yeah. First of all, I hear there's rumors that you are the best in the game at putting the decals on the helmets, and they're still
that's
they're still
true,
missing
baby.
your abilities over there.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Had to get the quarterbacks right, had to get the P. Riches right, make sure that, because they're going to be on TV the most, so you got to make sure the helmets are looking crispy.
I was talking about you making the back plate for Ken Crawley.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, did you see the video of Coach Prime freaking out at the DBs for having back plates?
No.
So
Is
he's
he pissed?
Yeah, he's pissed. He's walking around yelling. I think it was the first practice of spring ball, and he's just yelling, when does a DB ever get hit in the back? When have you ever seen a DB get hit in the back? Why do y'all need
Show the
back plates?
swag,
Y'all just
coach.
want to look pretty. And I was like, I remember Bryce, like Ken Crawley came in and like asked him to make him a custom back plate.
Yeah, put a back plate on there. And then the other thing that I'm thinking about too is the pylon cams, the Pac-12 logos on the pylon cams, which still are on there. But yeah, we brought that to the landscape as well.
Hell yeah. I miss those days because I reap some benefits.
Yeah, you got some benefits.
Okay, so chrome helmets.
Yep.
You think that's coming?
Yep.
What else? Any other ideas?
I think there's definitely going to be some more silver and stuff. I think we're not going to, the actual uniforms themselves, I don't think is going to change much this year. I think it's going to be 2 years, right?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, so I think the helmets is the most that they're going to do. Chrome helmets. I think the decals could get bigger, which personally I'm not the biggest fan of, but whatever the kids are into is what I'm going to be into because that's what you got to be in this game. So
Yep.
I think we're going to see a lot of that. I'm interested to see the face mask changes as well because there's going to be chrome face masks. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he has up his sleeve. All I know is looking at Jackson State, they didn't like to wear a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a nice change from Carl Durrell, who was way too into the traditional. It felt like we wore gold, black, gold.
Yeah.
90% of his home games, which is just like, we love it, but let's mix it up. Let's give the kids something to be excited about. I mean, I don't know if they ever wore the Stormtroopers while he was here, but when the kids are coming for these visits, that's what they're putting on.
Yeah, and I would say, I won't say give him too many props, but against Air Force this year, we did rock silver, white, which was pretty crispy. I don't want to give too many of my picks away here, but if we do get the chrome, I will say we cannot be wearing gold chrome helmets with the color gold pants that we have.
Oh, no.
Cannot do that. So,
God, no.
But again, I don't want to get too into my picks here. I'm sure we know each other's kind of style for this uniform, so it's going to be a race to Nifty, if you will.
I will say they can't get new sets, but they can alter what they do have. So keep an eye out for that. I think there might be some changes made to what they already have.
Okay.
So there you go. All right, let's get into this. 4 picks each, Alyssa? All right, 4 picks each. Snake draft. Since you're the guest, you can choose. Do you want 1 and 4 or 2 and 3?
I know what your first pick's going to be, I'm pretty sure. And I
bet
think
you do.
And I know probably what you'll take the second and third, but I'll go with the first pick.
All right.
Since I'm the guest.
Yep.
Guest always goes first. I think it's no surprise here for me. I will be going gold lid, black jerseys, black pants, all black accents. It's the crispiest fit in the game. Looks great on TV, looks great in person. With the Colorado across the chest, black face mask on it. It's perfection in college football.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best uniform in the history of sports, so good pick.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough for you to come back from that.
I was kind of hoping you would fumble the bag somehow and screw that up, but you killed it. I don't think this is obvious, but I can't let you get both of these. So
I know what it's going to be.
I gotta go gold, black, gold. Give me the classics.
The boomers are going to vote for you more because you got that. Though.
I know.
So
I
it was
just
a smart pick.
I just took the entire 50+ demo. I wish we could get the gold right on the pants.
Yeah, it's been a struggle.
I don't understand how this is so hard. I've heard that it's because they have a really hard time making performance fabric shine.
University gold is the color.
Yep. And for whatever reason, just the new fabric that they use, which obviously you want it to be the lightest and most breathable fabric for these guys. Apparently those fabrics don't shine.
Yeah, and then once they start sweating too, then it makes it damper, so it's tough.
Yeah,
but then you have, I think, like during the MAC years and Embo years, like I have a pair just for shits at home, like they do shine, but then like I was saying, when they sweat, they just look terrible.
Yeah.
Because the fabric is just, you just can't get the dry fit with the shine.
It's my only issue with, which is probably the second best uniform ever. All right, I have the next one. So I think I just secured the 50 plus demo.
Gotta get the youngins.
I think I'm gonna secure the new fans and the 21 and under demo with this one. Give me all white. White.
Stormtroopers.
It's definitely, in my opinion, the best option we have on the road.
I love the all white. Don't get me wrong. I just now bleed that into my pick. I'm gonna go. I have gold, black, black. I am now gonna go gold, white, white because it's another icy combination. Still got the gold lids, which are obviously my favorite. Just very clean, all white cleats, white accents. Looks great. Again, looks great on TV and in person, which is a very underlooked thing. Sometimes things look better on TV than they do in person. So, love that.
So you actually said, I forgot to bring this up. When you went gold, black, black, you said all black accents. So black socks, black shoes.
Yep.
Interesting. See, for me, I have a lot of nostalgia for the white socks.
With that,
in the 6236.
6236, which I think we played CSU. I want to say maybe it was Carl's first year, maybe last year, Mac. But we did rock gold lids, black jerseys, gold pants with white accents. And I think I've actually heard Coach Prime maybe say he might not like the white, but it actually does look good with the three colors. Yeah. It's actually one of the rare times where you can have the three different colors and it looks good. But
Coach Prime doesn't allow white socks in the workout room.
So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen this year, but I agree. Gold, black, white socks with the black cleats. That is nostalgic for 6236 for sure.
All right, I think you have another one here.
Yep. See, I already kind of have going black, and white. I have to spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
I can't because I could just go silver, white, and just cover my bases here. But I'm going to kind of go with a different one, and I'm going to say polarizing. Actually, you know what? I realize you have the older demographic, so I'm going to have to go after that demographic here, and then I'll save my last one.
Okay, all right.
So I'm going to go with the gold, white, black.
Yep.
It is a good combo.
It
looks good. It looks great. Gold lids, of course. The white on black is super crispy and clean. So yeah, I got to secure that demo. So that'll go back to kind of more traditional ways, and I'll take that. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for me, when I think of in my head, like legendary Buffs games, for some reason that comes to mind. And obviously, Miracle
Cordell
Michigan.
years.
And there's just something about it, like the game at Nebraska, like it's really nice. For some reason, it doesn't feel as good when you say it out loud as when you see it on the field.
Agreed.
Okay, so I have some choices to make here. I have two in a row, right, to finish my team out.
It's not to sway you at all. It is crazy to go 5 picks with no black helmets, because I'm sure there are some people out there that are just like, how do you not have the black helmets?
I know, and the problem is our record in black helmets is really bad.
Putrid.
It's really bad. But I'm trying to think of where I want to go here. I know one of my picks, so I guess I'll just get that and buy some time to think of my second one. I have to take this away from you. And honestly, I think it's better than gold, white. I think silver, white is so icy.
It is. I was going to take that third, but I couldn't do it, so I'm glad you got it. It is. At Air Force, even though the game sucked, we looked so good.
I know. I randomly came across that the other day because I was dealing with the idiot Nebraska fans who thought the S2S on the helmet stood for Shador 2 Sanders. And they were like, Coach Prime says the players can't have their numbers, but he let Shador wear this on his helmet. And so
been there for a bit, guys.
Yeah, so I went back and I was looking to just prove that it was on the helmets last year, and I came across that game, and I was just like looking at all the photos because Air Force's unis are sick too.
Yeah, they do good.
So the clash there was just incredible.
Yeah, that was a good uni battle that day. Oh, the old bug eaters.
Yeah. Okay.
Last pick. This is where it gets spicy.
I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that's like more classic that I like, but I can't really think of it. So, man, I only have one black jersey in there. I think I'm going to have to go all black. All black. Give me the 2 monochromes on my side. All black during a blackout game looks so sick.
Murdered out, bro.
Yes. It looks so sick. Then you get like someone with, like a visor on, and it just like has this power to it. I love the gold helmets. If I'm being completely honest here, I hope this doesn't sway the vote. I would take gold, black, black over all black in all situations. Like, if you gave me the opportunity, I would just keep pressing that gold, black, black button over and over again. But the all black is so sick. I don't like the one where they did the matte black buff on the helmet.
Yep, didn't like that one.
It sunk in too much. I loved the one where they did the old school Ralphie
against SC. I
yeah,
believe.
So if we can bring that back, I would be hyped. But whatever you do, you got to make sure that decal really pops. Like whether it's like maybe you do a chrome CU on it or something to make it really jump off that black helmet.
Yeah, I agree with that. You can't go wrong with all black. Again, I'd say in most people's drafts, that would have gone a lot higher.
Yeah, the only thing stopping me from picking it earlier is our record in black helmets.
Okay, this is tough. Do I go with my personal thoughts? Being back in, podcast space, do you go your personal thoughts? Do you try to appease people? There's some interesting ones here. You gotta stay true to yourself. We're not going no silver jerseys. All silver was fine, like against Stanford and Carl.
We did a black, silver once that was all right.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna go with that. I don't believe you are a fan of gold, white, gold. I personally think it actually is pretty crispy.
It just screams Boston College to me. I can't get it out of my head when I see it.
I just think it's very crispy, but I'm not gonna go with that. I'm gonna kind of throw, just because I was actually looking at pictures of this the other day, is white, black, black.
That's a good one.
With the white accents. You got 2 colors there. Pops, you got the white lids, which are very icy. Then you got then you're murdered out the rest of the way with some white accents. Maybe it was just because I was just about to say, maybe just because it was the Laviska game against Arizona State and
4 touchdowns,
absolutely embarrassed them. What
was the score? 28.
Shook someone out of his shoes. I'm not sure, but I have him there was like a little screen over bubble to him, and he just did a little shimmy and put a guy just fell on all fours.
Yep.
And so maybe it is the situation or just the game when we wore them. It's a little different. I don't know if we've worn that since, to be honest.
I don't think so.
Back, there's other weird ones we've worn. Like we wore like white, silver, white. I think one game.
Yep. Silver, black, black could have gone.
Yeah, silver, black, black could have gone. That was fresh too. So I do realize I have very similar, just matching black, matching the top and the bottom.
Yep. But you got gold, white, black in there, which is a classic.
Yeah, I had to get it in there, but I do like matching your top and your bottom.
Yeah, me too. And you did a good job of stacking your team with that. It's funny. So remember they actually went white, black, white once, and I think it was when we were doing the podcast. Maybe not. I don't know. But I went on a whole rant about how much I hated it because it just looks like a youth team.
I think they did wear it once because I'm getting like visions of a text from you being like, "What? We look like a Pee Wee football team."
Yes, because I'm pretty sure it's because I played on a Pee Wee football team where we were we had the black jerseys, but everyone, of course, in Pee Wee football has white pants, and then they just give all the teams the same helmets, like especially if you're playing for like the city.
Yep.
So it's like just white color, white.
Yep.
And I hated that, but
I did see a comment.
What was the one you were gonna pick if you were trying to appease the people?
Well, I was thinking when we won the Pac-12 South, the silver, black, silver.
Oh.
Which is underrated.
Yep.
I don't think we've really worn it. Some nostalgia there as well. I think the silver. I love the silver lids. I don't think we've worn them enough. I think you got a great snag on your draft there, silver, white, white. So I think we did against Utah maybe a couple of years ago. We did go silver, white, silver, which was actually pretty crispy too.
Yep.
So honestly,
is that a Cade Apsay start?
That might have been a Cade Apsay. Throw it inside. Throw it in bounds. Definitely he used to never give the receivers a shot in practice. No shot to Cade, but I'd throw it out of bounds, and he got reamed a couple times for that. But honestly, this whole draft just kind of brings to light that when it comes to uniforms and colors that we're pretty much undefeated.
We really are, and that's when I'm excited. So you mentioned this earlier, but I have already made a pledge that I will not complain about whatever Coach Prime and they decide to to do. I'm sure Shador is going to be involved, and Travis Hunter, and all these guys are going to be in those conversations. So I've just like tried to make myself as excited as possible because we have the best colors in sports.
It'll look good.
Especially
when you're winning.
Right. Our setup is pretty simple right now, but there's so much you can do with the chrome, which I'm sure will be a part of it. I agree with you. Coach Prime actually shared a random picture of a chrome gold lid on his Instagram the other day. So I'm excited. There's just so much you could do.
Yeah, I think even just like other teams, like they don't have black in their unis, and then they're just like, well, we need to have a black one. You know, or like even gray or silver. Like let's just make one. It's like they're not even in your colors, man.
Someone was sharing like the Boise State all blacks the other day.
Yeah, like Minnesota does it. They just like wear all black, and you're just like, okay. Or like who was another team that I was just like, Iowa State maybe they had like all gray uniforms. I'm like, why are you wearing gray uniforms?
I know, we're lucky. Black, gold, silver, white, all actually the colors.
Exactly, and for the fan base to just be wearing, you can always wear black.
Ooh, all right. Last thing before we hit one more read and then do questions. Where do you stand on the yellow shirts in the stands?
I feel like we're talking about nostalgia a lot today.
Well, okay, so this has been coming up a lot.
Has it?
On Buffs Twitter recently. Our friend Ted is like
Ted loves them, right?
Yeah, he is like the champion of the yellow shirt community. And I will always push back on it. I believe every game should be a blackout in the stadium.
Agree.
Just wear black. Everyone has dope black Buffs gear. It makes it easy. Don't even think about it. But there's been kind of a push to bring back the yellow shirts, especially for the students.
You know what? I'm going to disagree with you. I think the blackout is a blackout. It's like it's a big game. Like you can't just do it every game.
Yeah.
Like you can't just do that every game, especially in the early season. Like when it's 95 degrees and we get 130 kick, which probably is going to be the Nebraska game this year. Like. Which I'd be fine to do a blackout for. We'll suck it up. But I'm saying I like and again, nostalgia, like 62-36, like just that rowdy ass student section of yellow shirts. Just it hit different. And they used to give out shirts a lot too. I think at games, they haven't done that as much. But I do like that it's like a very bright, I mean, I know it's not gold, but it still is a gold rush. And just, I have a memory of, growing up and that's the student section, it's going to be rowdy. A lot of times people were throwing shit back in the day, which marshmallow fights. So I will side with Ted on this one. I am pro
yellow shirts.
Pro yellow shirt. I'm still going to call them gold. But we can't be doing blackout every single game because we can't.
I think now with Coach Prime in the fold, we can get experimental. Like we can alternate the black white or like
make
black
the
gold.
Checkers.
Yep.
I mean, we did a whiteout. The whiteout was pretty solid.
I'm pretty sure we tried a black silver alternate once,
That's
but the
tough.
thing is, no one has those colors.
It's just gray.
Right, but even no one has gray Buffs gear.
Gray wouldn't. Yeah, that just look weird on TV too, because that's what you're also going for.
I would just say, do something that everyone has these T-shirts. Alternate black and white.
Yep,
that would look sick. All right. Before we move on, a shout out to Illegal Pete's. What's your Illegal Pete's order?
Man, I have a strict. I have a cycle of 3 things, bro. Okay. I go chicken queso burrito bowl, so I always get that. Get a tortilla on the side.
Yeah.
Big sucker for the big fish, which I don't believe it's now the Baja fish burrito, I believe, but always very fire. And then a quesadilla, chicken quesadilla. I kind of just go through a cycle of those repeatedly, and then get the Pacifico and tequila shot special when it's happy hour.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
I can't put the exact dollar figure. I want to say $6 for a shot of tequila and a Pacifico.
Damn.
It's pretty freaking great deal.
Yeah, Illegal Pete's is the best. Like I told you guys, I don't have to ask people if they
go to
Illegal Pete's.
You call it Illegal Pete's. I call it Illegal Heat because it's fire.
Ooh. So we have Illegal Pete's on one corner, and then Pete's Kitchen is on the corner across. So I used to just call it Pete's, but now if you say, do you guys want to go to lunch at Pete's, no one knows which one you're talking about.
It'll always be Illegal Pete's.
So Illegal Pete's, IPs. The best. I told you guys before, I don't even have to ask people, do you go to Illegal Pete's? I just ask, what's your order? Because everyone hits up Illegal Pete's. So shout out to them. And then also shout out to Backus and Shanker. You guys know the deal. If you need to sue, smash that 222-2222. So call our friends over at Backus and Shanker. If you get hurt and it's not your fault, So a lot of ways you could do that. But if you end up getting hurt and you feel you deserve some compensation, no better place to go than Backus and Shanker. And the best part about them, you won't pay them a single penny until they win your case. That's how confident they are in what they do. So shout out to Backus and Shanker. If you need to sue, smash the 2. All right. Got some questions here from our fair listeners. We also have 154 likes. We should probably get that to at least 200, guys. But the first one here comes in from Brian Wilkin, who says, what high school did you guys go to? I grew up in Denver area and went to Wheat Ridge. I'll let you answer.
Went to Fairview High School in Boulder, Colorado. South Boulder. Go Knights.
Go Knights. I was just thinking about this. I can't remember why. Oh, we were talking about Devon Thornton. And I was just thinking about, I remember there was a big preseason tournament where the team that we had that went undefeated our junior year in basketball.
Oh, yeah. He was a hooper, wasn't he?
Yeah, they beat Denver East and Devon Thornton in a early season tournament, and it was electric.
It's funny you mentioned Denver East. My girlfriend went to Denver East, and she always gets on me for calling it Denver East. She's like, it's just East. I'm like, no, it's Denver East. And she's like, no, it's just East.
That's so weird. We always called it Denver East.
Yeah, just always included the Denver there.
Do you get annoyed when people refer to the University of Colorado as simply Boulder?
Oh, yeah.
It bothers me.
I always correct people a lot of times. They're like, oh, did you go to Boulder? And I'm like,
no, that's a high school down the street.
I went to the University of Colorado.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's pretty much
everyone that's not from
stopped.
here.
It can't be stopped. It's over.
It's everyone who's not from here.
I can't even lie. Even I've said sometimes to someone like, did you go to Boulder? And I'm like, what the
You just caught yourself. Yeah, because
I caught myself. I'm like, did you go to CU? Or mostly that's what I say. Did you go to CU?
And then people are like, well, there's CU Colorado Springs and CU Denver. No one thinks that that's what you're asking if you say, did you go to CU?
No disrespect to the other branches, but no.
Yeah, I went to one for a year.
Yeah.
It's that one really gets under my nerves. Like people from the East Coast are like, oh,
did you go to Boulder?
No, my sister went to Boulder High School. I went to Fairview. Anyways, got that out of the way. What's next? Any news on first scrimmage? Have not heard that yet. I do have some exciting news, though. Tomorrow, open practice, baby.
Oh,
Jake missing out. He is twerking up a storm in Hawaii. And me and Andre are going to go to practice tomorrow.
Sick.
And I cannot wait because we get to come back here and talk ball. And Andre knows ball, so I'm excited to get his thoughts because he's not quite as close to it, so I think he'll have a clear mind when watching. Not that I don't, but I trust his football eye a lot. So I'm excited to see what he thinks of practice tomorrow.
Nice. That'll be. I didn't know that they were doing that. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, Coach Prime is very smart, and when they open up practice, there's about 3 times as many people that show up to cover it. So it's awesome. All right, from Oddchard. Says, RK, I went down the DNVR Buffs rabbit hole and ran across a video of you talking about my high school quarterback, Sam Neuer. Crazy. So he must be from Washington State?
I believe so.
Or was it Oregon? I think he's probably from Oregon if that's where he transferred back to.
Oregon, yeah.
Yeah. Sam Neuer in the COVID year was a beast.
He's a truck, dude.
That's a weird memory. Like, that feels like it's almost not real.
Yeah, we
to
were
me.
4-0, lost last 2. Went to the Alamo Bowl.
Remember they
had 50 kids playing against
Texas.
Texas.
They put 56 on UCLA in the season opener.
Yeah, dude. Was that the year also then we played San Diego State too, just randomly? We were supposed to play SC, I think.
Yeah, SC bailed out of the game. We last second
2 days before
scheduled San Diego State, and it was an
absolute
game.
rock fight.
Yeah, I think honestly we won 21-3 or something.
Yeah, it was not a. They got it done, but
yeah, I think Christian Gonzalez had a pick 6. And then yeah, dude, Sam Neuer was
he's so good,
running people over.
He was throwing dimes against Stanford. It was incredible.
Damn, that's a weird. I feel like that's almost like my brain is trying to erase that time.
That's the
And
pandemic.
it was a good year. That was the Jarek Broussard year.
Yeah, Jarek. Yes, it was.
Pac-12 Player of the Year.
He was an animal.
300 yards against Arizona. All right. From Angela. Thanks for coming back, Angela. RK, what road game in the Pac-12 is going to be insane? This CU team is going to be the Lakers of the Pac-12. We want to be at that game. Selfishly, I don't want to be compared to the Lakers, but I know what you're saying.
So road game for us.
What road game is going to be the most insane? And I think what she's getting at is where are we going to bring the most numbers? It's got to be TCU.
Yeah, the hype is just massive. And we got a good, I think, alumni base out there. I would throw out when we're 3-0, Oregon could be nutso. But I think, that opener is going to be pretty, and TCU is going to be the one.
I mean,
you could say UCLA. We always have a great showing in the Rose Bowl.
That's true, and that's just we have a huge alumni base in LA. Yep. But, dude, I talk to so many people who are Buffs fans, and one of my first questions to them these days is, "Are you going to Dallas?" And like everyone says yes.
The attendance record's perfect.
Yeah, everyone says yes, and I'm sure people will bail out for one reason or another as time goes by. But like every Buffs fan, every legit Buffs fan wants to be there. I think there's going to be an issue with tickets. Like, people talk about, Nebraska fans love to run their mouths about, taking over our shit. We might take over TCU Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very high on that game. I think that it's extremely winnable. So I don't know. A lot of people are like, oh, they're in the national championship. Yes, they were, but they're going to be losing a lot of guys, and we're going to be a completely different team.
And what better team to look at as a reason to be high on the Buffs this year than TCU last year?
Yep.
5-win team the year before in the national championship 1 year later, thanks to the transfer portal. I feel better and better about this game every time I read a mock draft because there's like 13 players from TCU that get mocked.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
It's going to be fun. From Francois, you all just drafted the best uni combos. What is your least favorite if you take away the powder blues?
All right, well, did you remember when we wore the silver, gold, silver with Speedy?
With the
horns?
Those were terrible.
So did you say that was yours?
It's funny I like the helmet.
The helmet has potential for sure.
I cannot stand that uniform.
The gold.
And it had like these weird patches on the shoulders.
The sweat would like conglomerate to also like certain patches.
Yeah.
And so like then it had a weird dark gold spot on it.
That's definitely the worst in terms of things we've like just worn once or like not really in the mix. I truly do not like gold, white, gold. And
I know you don't.
I also really, really hated that white, black, white. But white, black, white, I had to admit, I think I tweeted it during the game, like it wasn't as bad on the field as I envisioned it in my head. That being said, that one's pretty rough.
I just push back. I think gold, white, gold is not as bad as I think it is. Like it's like royalty kind of to me. Like it looks it's just white and gold. Remember Philip Lindsay balling out against Arizona at night with it. I also remember when we were kids that we wore it one time, and I was like, this is kind of nice. And I remember you never were a fan of it.
Someone said Notre Dame too, which again, that's probably maybe why you positively associate it. Just in terms of, I just mean in terms of like
actually, I mean, I think that's way better, honestly, than Notre Dame's when they wear their blue uniforms with their gold pants. I think it looks way better.
Yeah, there's just something about it that looks so un-Colorado to me. I don't know why. It looks like a different team to me.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not really the biggest fan of black, white, black. It just doesn't feel like the Buffs.
It's too vanilla.
It just doesn't feel like the Buffs for me, so I'd go with that. I don't like that one, really.
I hope we don't wear that one.
Though when we wore the white, gray, white, that wasn't good either.
White, gray. Yep, that's not great. All right. Last one, I think. RK, what was your reaction to Feely calling Coach Prime Deion? You guys are much more on top of that stuff than I am. I can honestly say I didn't notice. But the comments, Bryce, are very adamant that you must always call him Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
And I'm with it. But I think the reason why Jace would have called him that is just because they have a pre-existing relationship going back like 10 years.
Yeah.
So he probably grew up calling him Deion.
Yeah.
Maybe like whatever, you think of your family friends.
Yeah.
You call the dad by his first name. Not like Mr. So-and-so, or in this case, Coach Prime. So I assume that's just a habit of his that dates back, 7 to 10 years.
Just let it slip.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Alyssa?
That was it.
Groovy.
Well, this has been awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was fun. I always love talking the Buffs with you.
Stoked to have you back. We might have to bring you back one of these days with Jake here as well. Get a little 3-man show
Yes,
going.
I'd love to.
Maybe pull back some of our old in-season segments because that was like I felt like most of our work got done in season.
It was always very specific to who we were playing. Yeah.
So there we go.
It's always dependent on the opponent and stuff too. So let's start brainstorming for TCU.
All right, I owe you a beer for coming down here, so we're gonna go downstairs and grab that. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate Bryce for coming by. Alyssa, great job, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Go Buffs, baby.
Let's
We
go
coming.
Buffs.